Hi, my name is Jeremy Butler with Bob King Hyundai, here to show you the 2012 Hyundai Genesis. Of course, the car we have here is a 2012 Genesis 3.8-liter V6. New for 2012, it's actually got a GDI engine, comes out with 333 horsepower. Okay, that's on premium gasoline. Of course, you can also run it on regular unleaded. Now, like every other Hyundai, the Genesis has no slacker on the warranty. We've got a 5-year, 60,000-mile new vehicle warranty. Okay, that's your bumper to bumper. You also have a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain, which covers your engine, drivetrain, and transmission. Anything under the hood with a fluid to it is covered. Okay? Your other two warranties are a 7-year, unlimited mile anti-perforation, which is against rust inside to outside the vehicle, and a 5-year unlimited mile roadside assistance. Very similar to AAA. Anything from a flat tire, run out of gas, you get locked out of the car, which you should not have an issue with in this car, or if you need to be towed in, they'll tow you to the nearest Hyundai dealership for free. That's a big extra benefit for this car. Of course, car made in Korea. Now, even though this has a very powerful V6 engine, it still gets really good gas mileage. 29 on the highway, 19 in the city. So even though you're cruising around in a big luxury car that's got plenty of power, you're not really going to be missing much on the gas. All right? Of course, good safety ratings, 5-star rollover ratings. Of course, Hyundai, one of your safer car brands in America. A few other nice features, of course, when you get into this car. This one here actually has a tech package. Pretty much loads you up with everything that you could possibly imagine inside a car. A few of the things, of course, 4-wheel disc brakes, sunroof. You also have all your controls on the steering wheel, including your cruise control, your audio controls, your trip computer, and even something that they call smart cruise control, which I'll get back into it in just a few minutes. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take you around the front of the car and show you a few things under the hood. Of course, this is where the Genesis really shines, the very front end of the car. Of course, new GDI engine in it, gives you 333 horsepower like I was telling you before. You got your strut brace to hold up the hood of the car. All your fluids and everything, of course, looks nice and neat under the hood. Of course, most of the stuff is covered, your coolant and your washer fluids out front, brake fluids in the back, and then of course, engine oil, so just in case you need to know where it's at, is right off to the side. Now, of course, the cover there, besides making the car look good, is also there for your protection. When the car is running, you can place your hand on it. Of course, it ain't going to burn you like if you were to have your hand on just the engine itself. Of course, even in this car, breakaway motor mounts, of course, to let the engine drop in the event you're in an accident, front end crumple zones, and of course, those in the rear as well. And of course, this is your front end, your air intake is up top to make it easier to breathe for the air filter here, so it lasts a little bit longer. Okay, and then of course to close it, very simple, very easy. One touch, one hand, and she's done. And of course, I'm going to take you around the trunk. Now, everybody knows when you get up to a luxury line of car that you're going to have a really, really large trunk, and of course, this is no exception. Okay, so you got plenty of storage space for your golf bags, for your luggage if you're going on a trip. And of course, even though it's a luxury car, still have a pass-through, so if you store anything in the back that you need while you're on your trip, somebody in the rear seat can open it up and pull it out. Okay? Now, besides that, of course, everything inside the car in the back is refined even as that. You got a trunk mat in the back just to keep the flooring, the carpeting that's already in there protected so it doesn't get stained. And then, of course, your bracing here is also covered, so you don't have any baggage or anything that gets caught up in it. And, of course, it looks nicer, and it's got a solid piece on the back end of it to protect anything that's inside the trunk as well. And then, of course, by closing it up, you're going to see some of the nice features. Of course, for the new 2012, they redesigned the front end and the rear end, give it a little bit of a refresh. And, of course, as you can tell, the dual exhausts are now into the body of the car instead of standing out. So it really makes the car stand out, really makes it look good. They've done a nice few touches. And then, of course, every Genesis comes with a proximity key with push-button start. For this year, you actually get to see something that's really neat. When you lock the car, of course, your mirrors on the side are going to close up, fold up. That way, if you're in a parking lot, somewhere you're going, they'll close up. That way, somebody ain't going to run into it with a cart or their shoulder or their arm and break it. And then, of course, to open them up, you just hit unlock, and they'll fold back open for you. Now, of course, going into the back seat of the car, we got a lot of room, a lot of storage space. for your passengers in the back. And of course inside, and I'm going to step here in front of you for just a second. You've got 2 cup holders right here in the very center. But something that's really neat, and it's something that you can't see with it up, but you also have heated seats for the rear passengers as well. Buttons are on the inside of the armrest right there behind the cup holders. You can press them. They even have 3 settings for themselves, so even the people in the back have room so they can sit down and they can keep themselves warm and stuff during the winter as well. Of course, rear AC vents for the people in the back as well, so you're always the most comfortable position anywhere in the car. Okay? I'm going to close this up for you. And then of course, coming to the front end of the car, proximity key really comes in handy right here. There's a button on the door. Instead of you having to fumble for this key inside of your purse or inside of your pocket, you can walk up to it as long as you're within a 3-foot radius. Come up it and click it. This time, of course, I'm going to lock it. If I want to unlock just the driver's door, one press will unlock this door, which is nice. And then of course, if you want to unlock all 4, you just press it twice and you can lock all 4 doors on the car, which is a really nice feature, especially if you're out somewhere that you're not very familiar with. Okay? And then of course, stepping inside behind the driver's seat, this is where all of your features are going to come into play. The Genesis provides everything to the driver and makes it very easy to get to. Follow me inside here. Of course, a few very first things that you're going to notice, of course, you got a power rear sunshade, which you actually have the control to open it or lower it or raise it from here. Okay? Trunk release and gas release here on the door. Of course, your power windows and door locks, your power mirrors. And then of course you got an 8-way power driver's seat. You can move it forward and back, up and down. You also have your tilt, but you also have a lumbar support, so you can actually stay comfortable driving in that position as well. And of course, even though it's power, you also have 2 settings. So if there's more than one driver behind the wheel, you can set it for each person. That way when they get in the car, they have their set preference, which is extremely nice. Of course, since this is the V8 with the V6 with the tech, comes with a lot of nice electronic features. One of my personal favorites is the electronic parking brake. Instead of actual parking brake here or at your feet, there's an electronic parking brake that you can set from here, and of course an auto hold feature that goes along with that. So if you're at a stoplight or you're in traffic and the car comes to a stop, you don't have to hold your foot on the brake. You can take it off, the car will hold it for you, and then you can press the gas and you're ready to go. And then of course, a few last features with the Genesis. You've got a 17-speaker Lexicon sound system. It's a 7.1 discrete sound audio system. Really, really nice. The only other car brand that carries it at this point in time is, of course, Rolls-Royce. So you know you're rolling in style when you have this sound system like that. 6-disc DVD navigation system. You got a controller for your nav. It also links in your Bluetooth, your navigation system, your radio, and of course your XM satellite radio that you have free for 90 days with the car as well. And then of course across the top, you got a HomeLink auto dimming mirror. You also got auto cornering headlights, front windshield wipers that are actually rain sensing, and an auto defogging windshield, which is extremely nice. And of course this here wraps up the Hyundai Genesis.